I've been craving a patty melt, and since we have an abundance of onions in the house that need to be used up, I went on ahead and made me a delicious double decker patty melt sandwich for lunch today. I also made some chicken wings to go with this, and it was a lot of food, so I made it to share. I wasn't really particular about cooking them down for an hour. I just cooked them down for about 25 minutes until they were nice and soft. I would have preferred if we had sweet onions opposed to regular yellow or brown onions, but we didn't have that. And I also thought half an onion would be okay, but I cut up the other half of the onion because I really enjoy onions on my patty melts and, onions just in general. So I'm adding a little bit more onions to the pan with some butter. I did sprinkle a little bit of salt in the onions, but no other seasonings for that. What I did use a whole bunch of seasonings for was my chicken wings. To reduce mess and cleanup in the kitchen, I put these chicken wings in my air fryer. I put them on at 350 for about 20 minutes. That's so that the fat can melt and, keep the chicken wings juicy opposed to them drying out. And then I put them on 400 for the last like 5 to 7 minutes to give them that delicious crisp. I'm using real basic seasonings here, onion powder, garlic powder, pepper, slap your mama, some Italian seasonings, and then I'm mixing that all together. And to help them get crisp in the air fryer, I'm also going to be adding a little bit of oil. I'm going to use extra virgin olive oil, but you can use pretty much any oil you have on hand that can, withstand high temperatures and doesn't have a whole bunch of flavor to it. When my onions are starting to get as soft as I want them to get, I went on ahead and pushed them to the side, and in the same pan, I put down my patties, which I tried to shape into the same size as my bread. I'm using a whole grain bread, the Killer Dave's brand, which I've been seeing for a long time, but I thought it was like a health nut kind of brand, and it's actually pretty good and very filling, and it toasts up really well. And I'm just using some basic seasonings for the hamburger patties: onion powder, garlic powder, slap your mama, pepper, paprika. If you've been here a while, I put paprika on everything. It can do no wrong. You can never use too much, in my opinion. So that's what I'm doing here. But I might have mentioned this, I only use salt on the onions. They really don't need anything else. I also might have mentioned I wish these were sweet onions, but these are just your regular yellow or brown onions that I'm using here. I'm making a double decker patty melt, so I'm using 2 slices of cheese. On the first patty, I'm putting just your regular American Kraft singles cheese. And on the second patty, it is my absolute favorite cheese to use on a patty melt, and that is pepper jack cheese. Then I put the onions on top and let them melt until I'm ready to put this on my toasted bread, which I could have made in the toaster, but for some reason I really enjoy the flavor of toasting my bread in the pan. So I'm just gonna lay down my patty melt here on top of my bread and let the toast continue to be all buttery and delicious. I was supposed to be making this for lunch. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm sharing this now. It's dinner. I'm sharing this with my man. He's going to be home in a few minutes. So he's going to have half the sandwich. I'm going to have half the sandwich. And these are my beautiful wings. Nice and crispy, but not dried out. And this is the final product. You know, I'm working on them angles. I'm working on getting some quality shots here. But this was my dinner.